Hello and welcome to Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. I am Aunt Lainey. It is the last final show of 2025. I'm showing you my fit. I call this 90s neo soul. You know, I got like the scarf on top of my head and I've got like the dangly earrings. And you know what? If you're lucky, I might just tell your fortune tonight. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Anyways, I'm here to do pot stickers. And you know what? I haven't done pot stickers in a long time. And I was a little worried because I didn't want to repeat the spring roll disaster that we had in I think was it 2024. So I was like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's bring new energy. So I practiced on my lunch hour, and I'm so glad I did that. So I started off with the pork, right? I got some ground pork, and I went ahead and I cooked it. Like I cooked it on my lunch hour. I made sure that it was all the way cooked. Now I know with wontons and pot stickers, all those things, they're like, oh, you can, use it raw and then you can kind of steam it and get it cooked that way. Or you can kind of, fry them and, put them in a wok-in. I'm like, no, I need to have the meat already cooked. I don't want to take any kind of chances on this because it's a pretty relatively easy thing to make. But still, you know what? It's just better to have the meat for me to be already cooked. So basically what I did is I probably used maybe like a cup of meat. I didn't use a ton. I mean, I've already kind of used this here. And I put it in like a tablespoon of Chinese allspice. Chinese 5-spice, which is my first time kind of using it. Then my old trusty ginger. And then I had, so I did like a tablespoon of each of the Chinese 5-spice, and then the ground ginger, tablespoon of those each. Then what I did, I know I'm skipping around. I put this on a nonstick pan, and I just kind of like took probably like, I don't know, the equivalent of a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. And I kind of, while it was heating up, I put that on the pan. And then I kind of put the other, I waited till it got a little hotter, put the spices on there. Then I kind of rolled the meat around, and then I took another tablespoon of the Chinese allspice and threw that on there, and then I put probably like maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice in there as well because I wanted it to kind of, I didn't want it to dry out. So then I already had some sliced fresh carrots, and I actually have those right here, so I'll kind of show you. I've got the carrots and the fresh green onions, and then I put them on top of a bed of jasmine rice, which I love jasmine rice because, I love using things, putting them on a bed of rice, but jasmine rice soaks up all the flavors. That's why I really appreciate jasmine rice. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you because I hadn't made pot stickers or wontons in a long time, so I'm like watching videos on Instagram, and I realized, you know what? There's a reason why you haven't done these in a while, because I like the dexterity that it takes. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I've lost it. I don't know. But then I realized, because originally these were just going to be kind of pan fried. And I was like, girl, why are you pan frying stuff when you have a perfectly good, you're a perfectly good panini maker. And you can just grill those bad boys. And so that's what I decided to do. Because remember, when you grill them, any kind of mistakes that you make, as far as like the seam looks weird, you can't see them. Do you know why? Because, hello, Miss April. The reason why you can't see them is because they're grilled, okay? And I really am a proponent of don't feel any worse about your skills than you have to. So it's okay, if you grew up like me, country people, you got something on your couch, some kid spilled some pop on the couch, you cleaned it up as best you could, then you just threw a bedspread over it and you just kind of hope for the best, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're putting a proverbial bedspread on it, so because, I probably do need to practice a little bit more so I can make those cool shapes again. But for now, what I like to do is try to like do like a bite kind of thing. I call them, that's why I kind of call them I call them pot stickers, but they're more like grilled pot sticker bites. Because when you call something a bite, guess what? You don't have to do. Make it look perfect, okay? Because it's just a bite. It's very casual. And speaking of that, I'm looking for, because one of the things I need to find is my brush. Now, you don't have to use a brush, but here we go. I found one of my brushes. But I prefer to because I want to make sure that this kind of like it can seal, because I don't just want to like randomly wrap it up. But before I do that, hang on. Let me just go ahead and get some water. Put some water. No, technically, I guess. Wait, no. Hang on. There we go. I got a little thing of water in here because we're going to need it. Now, on my podcast, which I have not, my Elena's Kitchen, last episode of the year, I haven't released it yet, but I'm going to do it after this show. I talked about how I went to the store. I was like, I'm going to do wontons, and they didn't have any wonton wrappers. And all they had were these huge egg roll wrappers. Now, granted, I could have gone to the Asian store, grocery store, but I forgot to do that. And I was just like, you know what, I'm exhausted. I don't, it was a lot going on. I was kind of kicking myself, but I was just trying to get everything done before New Year's Eve. Now, see how big this is, like right here? Like, this is perfectly fine, if you want to just kind of, because I'm just going to make it into a bite. But if you want it to be even smaller, because there's some people, they just want to do like the little small kind of purse, kind of, pot sticker bites, have at it. But I'm just going to kind of make them this size, because I feel like if you're just learning how to do something, make them just a little bit bigger, just so you kind of have some room to grow with it. So here we go. I'm also going to take this now. I was looking for my pizza roller. Of course, can't find it, so that's okay. I'm using this hatchet right here, my little cleaver. I'm using it, and now because I'm done with it, I'm going to move it out of the way because I want to mise en place, and I don't like to have sharp objects. Now I'm just going to do 4 of these because I'm probably going to end up eating these tomorrow, snack on them tomorrow. So I just kind of want to give you an idea so you can see these 4 strips like this. Now, this really depends on how you want the pot stickers to taste, okay? But before we do all that, I'm moving this to the other side. We got to take our brush, our brushy brush. Hello, Thomas. Oh, no worries. Listen, I barely got here, and that's okay because it's a Facebook Live, and then what I do with these is I throw them on YouTube. In a couple days, I'll put it on YouTube. It'll go on TikTok, as much as TikTok will take, because it depends on how long it is. And then, so it stays forever. It's just, I'm not live. And I know I've told people, before, and also I'll reiterate it on my podcast I haven't released yet. I am going to be doing small, like shorter videos. I'm still doing the lives because, I got to do those. But I'm also going to be doing, like, I'm going to show you, break everything down, like recipe by recipe. And let me see if I just want to get this, because this grill is going to get hot, hot, hot. So I want to make sure that I have all these done before I throw them in. So the first one right here that you can see, I probably want a little bit more. So I would say, again, it really depends on what you want. But you probably, with this size, probably put maybe like, I'm trying to think. I want to eyeball this. I want to make sure I'm getting this correct. How about you could put 1/8 of a cup in here, okay? And again, I've got ground pork, and I've got the chopped up fresh carrots and green onions, along with how I seasoned this. And as I told everybody, I seasoned it with lemon juice, Chinese 5-spice blend, ginger, and then I have sesame seed oil, or sesame oil, I should call it. Now listen, these don't look like, see how this is? How I made it look like a ravioli. Like, you can do that if you want, because remember, these are grilled. So people are going to be so wowed by the grilling, they're not going to notice that, and the plating. I can just say I'm a Nouvelle Cuisine restaurant here, that they're not going to really be paying attention. And again, putting this in here, maybe I'll just go ahead and do that 1/8 cup, just like an 1/8 cup of meat in here. And again, it's because it depends on what you want. And it's because I'm doing it this size here. Maybe a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay. So just a little bit more than 1/8 a cup here. Okay. So remember, we want to make sure that when you do the ground, make sure that it is... wait, did I? Make sure. I want to make sure this closes because it looks like, get this, and this is just water. People use all kinds of stuff. I know people use egg wash. I'm not doing all that. I'm just using water because we're grilling them. I'm just kind of making them in different, whatever I can get to make it close. That's what's happening right now. I am not trying to do perfection here because I know I'm going to grill these things. So they're getting grilled, and then I'll just show it like the grilled side out, and that's kind of what we'll do. Hello, Mama Susan. Sending you all the love. I got, you know what? I got the Twin Cities up on my live tonight. So yes, Twin Cities in the house, the place where I was born. Don't you know? Ufta, all the stuff. I posted earlier this week about Lutefisk. So I moved there in 1997 after I graduated from college. But my first corporate job, I think it was like in 98. And y'all, when I tell you that, you know, we had this office potluck thing. So I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't sure what to bring. I think I brought some kind of like pasta dish because I just wasn't sure, right? And this lady was like, hey, and she told me about lutefisk, and she was of like Swedish descent, Swedish Norwegian descent. And she told me like this was a delicacy at Christmas time. And so, you know, being the proper Methodist that I am, I'm like, oh, that sounds so interesting. Tell me more. Let's connect over food. And then as she described it in my mind, I was like, oh, wow, that sounds like not something I would like. And but because I was so polite and I listened to all her stories, y'all, she brought in the lutefisk. I was like, so yes, I did have some. I did. I was, you know, extreme manners when you grow up Methodist. And I will say this. It was very interesting. I can see why it's kind of a delicacy, right? Hello, Miss Amy. I can see why. Now, that's not something I'd want to eat every day. But I feel like it's one of those things, if it's made properly, then I could take like a little, I mean, no, not lutefisk. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever tasted, okay? It wasn't the best thing, but I felt like, you know what, if you combine it with some memories and family and laughing and having a couple, I could see where, you know, people would be like really nostalgic for it, especially if, you know, your grandmother made it for you and you're missing her. I could totally understand the nostalgia part of it. But now living in you know, the Kansas City area, I don't want lutefisk, so please do not make me any. But but as far as like the good memories she talked about and how, you know, her eyes were misting over, because she was an older lady. Her eyes were misting over and she was all, so I was like, oh my gosh. Like, so it was very interesting. But again, I don't ever need to eat that again. So there you go. Now look at these grilled pot sticker bites. I've got different things going on with them, okay? Because sometimes I get distracted. And as I told you that story, so I'm just flattening these out. And the good thing is as I said earlier in this live, hello, Miss Sarah. I always cook the meat, okay? Because I never know, you know, like I want to make sure, because, you know, I don't always make things correctly as far as, sorry, I'm just moving this out of the way. I don't always make things correctly as far as the formation. And I'm sure there's an ideal formation to make it so the meat cooks evenly. Or you could just cook the meat ahead of time. And then there you go. You don't have to worry about, you know, if something happens and like, oh my gosh, the meat's not cooked all the way. And my pot sticker, you know, abilities are like not allowing the meat to cook properly because it's already cooked, okay? And let me see. I want to get some cooking spray for this. Now, I'm going to do a little cooking spray here. But if you were so inclined, like earlier today, what I did is I took some toasted sesame seed oil, or sesame oil, I just want to call it seed oil so that. I took that and I just kind of lightly brushed it on top of the grill here. So I'm going to try to move this out of the way here. Let's see here. I want to get this out of the way because these things right here, because I got the $40 version, y'all. I did not get the $75 version that has like the controls. So, okay, so I'm taking my pot stickers, my very interestingly made pot stickers. That it takes all kinds, right? Now this is the one that I made kind of square. Again, when you put the grill mark on it, it's all good in the hood. And then what you're gonna do as you wait for those to like kind of heat up, see this right here? Look at this ramekin. It's not a ramekint, it's a ramekin. So we're gonna do this. And again, this jasmine rice, why I love it is jasmine rice is like, it basically projects onto like, whatever you put on here, jasmine rice is going to absorb that flavor, and it's going to make the flavor last, and it's going to just create this really great flavor profile, and it's soft rice. Now, I mean, again, rice is rice. If I had basmati in here, even though it's a crunchier rice, I would use that as well, just because, I don't, you know how I am. I want to use whatever I have available. But jasmine is perfect for this because it's this beautiful bed of rice, and there's lots of different ways you can do this. Now, with the picture that I took earlier today, basically I had it, I had it kind of lined up in like a square bowl, but this time I'm not going to do that. This is like, I'm kind of tired and I'm doing the best I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a bed, I've got the bed of rice, and then I have got like the carrots and the green onions. And this isn't going to be so much because I've already kind of taken the pictures of this. This is going to be more about like a rustic kind of feeling. We're going to feed people. It's going to be great. More about that than it is about like the presentation of it. Okay, so let's see here. And again, if you're just joining me, these are pork pot stickers, grilled pot stickers. I used the Chinese 5-spice blend, which was amazing because I got this gift card to Hy-Vee, right? And usually with gift cards, I forget I have them. I don't use them for 6 months. But man, these grocery prices, I'm like, well, let me just go ahead and bring this little Hy-Vee card with me. And so I was able to get that. And then I used ginger, which I already had. I have my toasted sesame oil, which is a Hy-Vee brand, but it doesn't, I don't think the brand really matters. Okay, it's not quite there yet. That's okay. You can hear it sizzling. Now you also have, you don't have to be fancy like me with this grilled panini maker. You can just do this you can do it like in a cast iron skillet. The only reason why I didn't use the wok is because it's got to get hot, and then I don't want to, like, that grease starts popping and I'm kind of tired. So we're just going to go ahead. And now, granted, this does have the 2 plates, but it's hot. Like, the bottom plate is hotter. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of do that for a little bit. And the meat is already cooked, so it's not even about whether or not the meat's cooked. I'm just trying to get like a nice little photo finish on here. You can kind of hear it sizzling. We love to hear that. Okay. Let's see here. And this, again, not a very expensive meal. I already had the ground pork. If you had to do it, you could use probably ground beef or ground turkey or whatever meat you have. Just chop it up finely if it's more of like a breast or like more of like a cut like that. Chop it up finely. What I want to do is make some, oh my gosh, look at, you guys, hang on. Look at the finish on this right here. Not the seam, because remember, we did that seam right there. See that seam right there? Look how fancy you look. And remember, anytime you call something a bite, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It just has to be kind of on the smaller side. Like today, I had my bites were a little bit more cylindrical. Now I've kind of got like more of a kind of a rounded shape. This looks more like a rhombus, but that's okay. But I kind of got this. Like, we're just trying to make it right now. We're going to do this here. And I'm going to take this out of here. Whoa, like this. And then there you go. See? And I will take a picture of this. Look at that. I've got the rice inside with the carrots, the jasmine rice with the carrots and the fresh green onions, all that. I've got these. Look what a nice little kind of grab and go thing you've got with like a little bit of rice. So that's going to hold you. I think this would be really good for like if you're doing New Year's Eve, like a small little New Year's Eve. You've got the little ramekin, so you're not going to like be too full, right? But you're still going to be kind of like, you know, satiated. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way now that I'm done with this. Now, it's like, dang, you got to get this off of here. This is when I wish I would have like a running crew like in theater. Okay, we're going to just take this off of here. Okay, now this is still pretty hot, so I'm going to move this out of the way so it can cool off. And now we have got what? We've got my grape and lime, key lime mocktail. So, lots of ways I can do this. Lots of ways I can do this, okay? So, in my mind originally, I was just going to do like a clear kind of situation with the grapes. These have been washed. But now, because you know what? Sometimes you got to be taking risks, people. Take the risk. I'm going to actually, let's see here. Let me get a couple grapes in here so we can kind of get it like a grapey kind of thing. Now, also what you could do is you could put like a little grape pop in here, but you know, sometimes with the soda or the pop, whatever you call it, it gets too sweet and it's too much. But I think we're gonna do this, and we're gonna make more of a rustic drink. I love cocktail bars. I love getting my mocktails, all that stuff, and they're just so amazing how they do things. People that are good at making cocktails and mocktails, you have my utmost respect. Because, I mean, I can't do it in the sense of, like, making it look like all professional and doing all that muddling and stuff. I even have a kid over there. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I even have a mortar pestle. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I know there's somebody who makes cocktails and mocktails that are just, they're looking at me and my knife skills, and they are not impressed. And that's okay. You know what? I always say it. I can't be good at everything. I'm good at a lot of things, but I can't be good at everything, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, here we go. Now, I have got, let me see here. I want to make sure this will probably fit like 1/8 of a cup. These grapes that I cut, like I sliced them, it's about 1/8 of a cup. Just letting you know that. Okay, and now I've got a cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup of this grape sparkling water, just like a cup of it. Okay, let's do this cup. Get this all together here. Okay, it's kind of getting kind of foamy. We're going to let it, not quite a cup here. Okay, let's get that here. And I can smell the grape flavoring. Okay, so see, Thomas is saying something. In the southern U.S. and Latin America, they call soda pop Coke. What kind of Coke do you want? Pepsi Coke? Oh, right. I know. They do that. Like, that's so true. I went to school with a lot of Texans. I was like, hey, let's go get Cokes. And I'm like, wait, but they only serve Pepsi here. So, yeah. That's so funny. I forgot about that. Okay. Let me see here. Woo. Okay. Just bring this in. So we have got this cup of grape right here. This is a cup of grape going in right here. Then we've got the 1/2 cup of key lime sparkling water. Now you can just do, and then you know what, I'm also going to put some lime juice in there as well, just to kind of give it like a little bit more of a kick. Okay. Now I might have to put closer to 2 cups in there. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. I think I want to go smaller with this cup because, you know, last time, maybe the time before, it like bubbled up all on me. So let's just go smaller with that. Now, very rarely will you hear me say, hey, let's do something that's a little smaller. Because usually I'm like, let's do it. Let it ride. Teaspoon. So we're going to do a teaspoon of this here. Lime juice. Teaspoon. Boom. Right here. Okay. Getting this out of the way. Okay. What are everybody's plans for New Year's Eve? I'm going to be here in my comfy house, kicking it. I know there's a lot of cool stuff going on, but I'm like, I think I just want to chill and, you know, maybe write or like watch some British television. You know, I'm really getting into, my new BFF is Mary Berry. She is the British lady. She's in her 90s. She was on a Great British Bake Off or something like that. She's amazing. She is so amazing, and she's so accessible. She's so kind to the people she's teaching how to cook, because she's like all over the place. She goes to country homes, talks with all kinds of like noble people and regular people, and she's always trying to help somebody learn how to cook. Now I'm looking at this, and this feels like maybe I need to go with a half a cup more of the grape soda. I just want to make sure, because I do not want it to geyser up. Working, I had last year off, so someone else got it this year. Oh, got it. There you go. Make that money. Okay. Here we go. Right here. Now, usually with these, I try to do like a dessert thing, but because I'm on my weight loss journey, I got about 20 more pounds to go. This is like the dessert. I'm kind of drinking calories now, so here we go. Now, if you wanted to add a little, if you were like a drinker and you want like a stronger beverage, you can totally add some vodka, maybe a little gin to this, but I'm just about that mocktail life. I know, don't worry. Here we go. Okay, so I just wanted to do that one pulse, because this is not the fanciest of drink blenders, so I got to be careful here. You can see the chunks of grape. Now, if I had a different, oh, you're chilling at home New Year's Eve, a couple of friends may come over and play board games. Yes, a game night. I love those. Okay, hang on, let's do this again. So if I were so inclined, what I would do differently next time is I would muddle it out and get these chunks smaller. I feel like it kind of gives the drink a little character. So, and after 2025, we could all use a little character in our mocktail. Okay, here we go. Oof. Let me just, because that is unplugged, so we're going to move this down. See, look how easy it is when you got this, because I already got the grapes on the side. Okay, so this is a very small mocktail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add probably, let's add another, and listen, it's okay to do it this way too, because I didn't even have to use that. I could have just stirred this and done that grandma mocktail that she used to make back in the day with that wooden spoon and that plastic kind of pitcher that every grandmother, I swear, if you're a certain age, you remember that. Okay, so I did two, so I did like maybe, looks like, yeah, so I did like another cup of that. So what we're going to do of the grape, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit more key lime in there. I just want to balance this out a little bit, but I'm going to do, instead of doing a full on half, I'm going to do like a quarter cup, because I want that lime. I want to be able to taste that lime. Okay, maybe quarter cup, maybe another little quarter cup of that, because I want that contrast. Okay. There we go. So you got this, like, you got a little bit of drama here. Okay, let's see here. Now, I guess the real test is using my straw here. This is very good. It has got that hint of key lime flavoring, right? But you can really taste the grapes, the grape flavoring as well. And it's got like a nice kind of, it's got like a really nice texture here with like the chopped up grapes that I kind of like, you know, made smaller, and they're kind of, and again, when I was debating on which kind of grapes to use, I'm like, I want to use the darker grapes because I feel like it's going to be more drama, but it's a good kind of drama, not the scary kind of drama, more of like a telenovela drama where it's like Rodrigo, like that, kind of like that. Okay, now I am excited for the new year. So here we go. Right here you can kind of see what I got going on. See how easy it was? I do have little swizzle sticks that I could have used to kind of elevate this, but I feel like having the grapes, the washed grapes, on the side kind of does it. It's like it's its own little accoutrement. So yes, if you guys want more information about me, you can go to AuntLady'sKitchen.com. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube under Aunt Lady's Kitchen. And as I said, on New Year's Day, I'm going to start filming videos that I'm going to be posting, but like the small, you know, instructional videos that are shorter, because I got some feedback from people that are like, I love seeing you live. I love kind of rewatching your videos, but it also would really be helpful if you did smaller, you know, shorter segments so that I can kind of stop it and then like, you know, see what you're doing. And I'm like, you know what? I can do that. And so I will do that. So I'm going to be, you know, filming a few videos. And again, they're not going to be the fanciest videos, but they will show you how to do it. But then also I do have a treat. If you guys remember the graham crackers, the frosted graham crackers, I have got, I've got some for the new year that I'm going to kind of demonstrate, but also I've got some for Valentine's Day because that's coming up. So I have all that. And then just once again, you can see the lovely pot stickers that I made. Oof. And you got the rice inside. But again, I will take pictures of these creations. You guys have been so amazing. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for the support. I feel like, you know, I made this whole vow to myself at the end of last year. I'm like, I'm going to be regular with when I post these videos. And when I go live, I don't care if I have one person watching, 2 people, 10 people, whatever it is. I'm going to keep doing it because I feel like I have a really good message to share. And that is like simple things to cook that are good, that don't cost you a lot of money. And, you know, things that you can do a fridge clean out. You can make it. It's good. It's not like, you know, depressing because there's a lot going on. So you have some good food to eat that didn't cost you a lot of money that you probably already had in your refrigerator. So, or your pantry. So with that, I bid you adieu. Happy 2026 that is coming. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.